Welcome, listeners, to Thrice, a horror movie podcast brought to you by Sinister Siblings, where we review a horror movie not once, not twice, but thrice, to see what comes from repeat viewings and share our thoughts with you, our dear listeners. My name's Adam, to my left, and my co-host Mark.
Hello.
And Tracey, to my right.
Hello there.
So that's how things would normally go, but this episode, a very special episode of Thrice. We're dubbing this one the inaugural episode of Thrice Plus, where we review a horror movie where at least one of us has seen many times, more than thrice, maybe 100 times. And this episode, we're going to need a bigger boat, because it's Tracy's choice with Jaws. Dun, 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 dun.
So exciting.
Mm.
So Jaws is my selection for this first episode of Thrice Plus. Now, Jaws is...
Oh, sorry, we should also say, we just do these. These are just one-off ones. We're not doing 3 of these.
No. So this is just Thrice Plus just is a one-off episode that covers off a film we've seen more than once.
Just jamming it into your playlist.
Yeah, it's an extra bonus there for you.
Some podcasts charge you through a Patreon for this. You'll get it for free.
Exactly. So, Jaws. I guess I'll just give everybody a quick rundown about Jaws' storyline before I jump in.
Once upon a time.
So, Jaws is a 1975 film. So, it's its 50th anniversary year this year. And it's all about when a young woman is killed by a shark when skinny dipping near the New England tourist town of Amity Island. Police Chief Martin Brody wants to close the beaches, but Mayor Larry Vaughan overrules him, fearing that the loss of tourist revenue will cripple the town. Shark expert Matt Hooper and grizzled ship captain Quint offer to help Brody capture the killer beast, and the trio engage in an epic battle of man versus nature. So that's a top-level sort of storyline about Jaws.
It's funny when you hear it broken down like that. It's like a Western.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this film such a classic, is it has just like key themes.
Yeah.
Like tried and true themes to it.
Mm.
So...
Was it Chrissy, the first girl?
Yes.
I like the way they have to put in that skinny dipping. Like, just gonna shame her. Like, she was just swimming.
Yeah, she was just having a swim. But anyway.
Was she one of Quint's bow-legged women?
Quite possibly. What Jaws means to me. A story by Tracey. So I chose Jaws because it's my favourite film of all time. It's my comfort watch. I can watch this film anytime, anywhere, and enjoy it just as much as I ever did. I just love it. So I would have first seen it when I was a child, so probably maybe 10, maybe? I don't know. It's lost in the mists of time. But I saw it when I was very young. And
was it VHS or TV, you reckon?
I would say probably TV, I reckon. I really can't remember. I was quite young when I saw it because I have been watching this on repeat for many a year. But growing up in the 80s, it reminded me of our summertime holidays at the beach. I mean, minus the shark attack element, but just that whole, like in Jaws, it's very sun-drenched. It's of its time. It's very 70s, and you know that 70s vibe really kicked on into the early 80s, and it reminds me of Plastic Lilos, Alex Kintner, and just big sunglasses and scarves and people smoking and brown leathery skin and slathering on the baby oil instead of the sunscreen. Not me personally, but others. And I think it's also perhaps this film inspired my interest in sharks and the sea, and particularly mysteries of the sea. I've always been fascinated, and my brother will attest to this, into topics like the Titanic, Bermuda Triangle, the Marie Celeste, people who go missing at sea. I mean, there's so much nautical mystery out there, and I think this film inspired my interest in all of it, and particularly in sharks as well. I do enjoy.
The Leviathan.
Yes, do enjoy reading about sharks as well. I think in terms of the film itself, it's a really well-crafted movie. It's got two distinct acts. You've got sort of like the first half of the movie, which is where the shark is terrorizing Amity Island and people are trying to raise awareness that this is happening. And you've got sort of like the commerce sort of driven people of the town, like the mayor and the shop owners who are like, it's all good. And you've got Martin Brody, the police chief, who's going, it's not all good. We should really shut this down. And along with Matt Hooper. And then the second half moves really into that sort of, I guess, that man versus nature sort of action adventure where the good guys are out to sort of capture the bad guy, basically, or put him out of his misery. So it's full of classic moments and one-liners that are now part of culture in our social fabric. You've got lines like "Some bad hat, Harry." I think that's the name of a production company.
That's "Some bad hat, Harry." Yeah, they did. What did they do? Something famous.
Yeah.
Used to see it at the end of every episode.
Exactly.
But I
That's
can't
"Some
remember
bad
what the
hat,
show
Harry."
was. Some sitcom.
And, you know, of course, like going to need a bigger boat. But, I mean, there's countless ones.
Yeah, Quint's whole monologue.
Yeah, and I think in terms of favourite scene from this film, I'm not sure I even have one. I enjoy it all so much. I love the characterization is really strong. All the characters, their relationships, like the family relationship in the Brody household is really well crafted and well documented. You've also got characters like Quint, who seems incredibly gruff and rough and unpleasant, but he delivers probably one of my most favourite scenes, I would say. His monologue on his time at the HSS, I think it's HSS, USS, Indianapolis, and the sinking, which has actually obviously happened in real life. And, Quint shares his fictionalised account of him being there. And I love that scene. I really do.
Sometimes the sharks go away. Sometimes they don't go away.
You know a thing about a shark, he's got like lifeless eyes, like a doll's eyes. They roll over, blackness, scream and starts.
Yes, indeed. And he'll never put on another life jacket.
I'll never wear a life jacket again.
So it's got...
Even though it probably saved his life.
Yeah. It's got so many great elements to it. Some argue that it's a serial killer film. Basically, you've got the killer terrorizing the town, and you've got, the police and the people in the know who go out to save the day. Could also be seen as a continuation of...
Does that make Martin Brody like the final girl?
Kind of, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely he is. He faces his fears. He hates the ocean. It's only an island if you look at it from the water. Like, when
he says that, I love how... Oh God! What's Dreyfuss's character's name?
Matt Hooper.
I love how he's like, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, it does. It's incredibly insightful.
So he totally has this, sort of story arc where he faces his fears and he sort of, basically, has a eyeball to eyeball with the killer and takes him out. It's amazing. So, but it could also be seen as an extension of like the eco horror, the environmental horror sort of vibe that was going on in the 70s, animals fighting back. It's really, for me, it's scary, but not too scary. Even as a kid, I don't think I was overly scared. Weirdly, it's never made me terrified of sharks. Like, I've always had a healthy fear of sharks, but it just made me fascinated and more curious and interested. And it's a thrilling movie. And we saw it on the big screen just the other week when it was released, special re-release for its 50th anniversary.
Yeah. Do they do that every 10 years? Do they do that?
Not in the cinema, no.
Did they do it for the 40th?
No.
Yeah.
But I feel like I saw so much more and heard so much more seeing it on the big screen. It was such a joy, an absolute joy to see it. And like the print looked really old, and then you kind of realize, oh, God, it is. It's 50 years old. It's an old film. And you've got, of course, the marvellous score, the music by John Williams, which is just iconic. Like, it transcends. So that is why it was my choice for our watch.
Put a rough number on it then. How many times do you reckon you've watched Jaws?
My God, I don't know, 150 times.
Really?
I will chuck it on. Like if I'm, sort of just in need of a bit of a lift. Like I might be sort of pottering around the house, or I might be sat down to watch, or it might be if I'm cold. Sorry, not cold. If I have a cold, feeling a bit under the weather, I'll lie down and watch it. Yeah, this and sometimes Jaws 2. I do like a bit of Jaws 2, but it's a different dynamic there. But
so Jaws 3, I think, was the first kind of scary movie that I ever saw, I think, at a sleepover. Yeah. And I was so scared of, so there's like early on in that movie, this is like when I was a little kid, and the guy, he reaches out over the side of the boat to bring in a buoy or something, and the shark bursts out of the water and bites his arm off. And it's not that graphic, but to little me, I was like, oh my God. And I was so scared of that one scene that I didn't even see Jaws 1 for the longest time. Because I just,
Yeah, it's weird. Like I think we used to have we still do. I actually have it here now. We had a book called Shark, which was by Reader's Digest. Like our mum used to buy books for Reader's Digest. It was a thing mums did. And it was this basically, it's just like an encyclopedia about sharks as they were known at that time, because of course our knowledge of sharks is always expanding. And I think I even took reference from that from in Jaws the movie, Chief Brody, he's reading a book, and in that book there's a shark, there's a painting, an old painting of the shark biting through the bottom of a boat and the boat sinking. And that just, made me want to read the book that we had and learn more about it, rather than like you, who was like, oh my God, I'm not going to go near the water. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to explore that, because I find that really interesting. So yes.
Did you enjoy it at the cinema, Mark?
Yeah, look, it's a great time for retro cinema here in Australia. Over the last 10 years or so now, it seems it's becoming a bit more common that you will actually get films coming back, whether it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Halloween or things like that. So you are getting a chance to see these films that are, 30, 40, 50 years old. So yeah, seeing Jaws at the cinema was great fun, hearing the score, but even just watching it with an audience. It was quite a good crowd. There was quite a good crowd at the screening we went to as well, and, people laughing at the right moments and clutching their pearls at others. And it was a lovely time capsule, because you're like, we went on a Saturday night, and you go, people 50 years ago would have gone on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it sort of dulls, I guess, in the mists of time, but you go, Jaws was the biggest film in the world when it came out. It was the first film to ever top $100 million at the box office.
The first big summer blockbuster, they say.
Yeah. It changed the way cinemas operated.
Yeah.
But also, I love Jaws for the fact that it spawned like a whole subgenre by itself. People either wanted to make their own shark movie, or people basically wanted to make their own movie that was Jaws but with an octopus, or Jaws but with a bear, or whatever it might have been. They discovered people wanted to watch animals killing people. And like you said, I think it touched on that earlier eco-horror, which was sort of that early 70s time, I think, where people were still coming out of the atomic world and that kind of thing, and just what we were doing to ourselves and what it might be doing to the world planet around us. So the fact that Jaws, but even just while I've got some numbers here in front of me, it's still such a box office draw. So here in Australia, they played the 50th anniversary on 250 screens across Australia, made about $340,000 over a weekend, basically. Globally, it's made somewhere in the realm of about $14 million on the re-release. And you go, some of the films we've done for the podcast haven't done that well. We're talking about a movie that's 50 years old. It's still pulling them in.
Yeah.
Like, as much as it's an old film, it's a timeless film in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Reading that synopsis at the start, you go, it's not a complex story. So it's all about the players and the people behind the camera and how they made the magic for it. My understanding, it was really one of the first films where people had actually tried to shoot the ocean in the ocean rather than in, tanks and bays and lakes. They actually went, we're going to shoot in the ocean, which, then there's countless documentaries about it. It was a ridiculously bold idea, and I think Spielberg admits openly now that, he was just young and no one told him he couldn't. So he just thought he'd try. And it's well documented how close the whole thing came to falling over.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But just, look at, sometimes it's those fate things, isn't it? There's just things that are meant to be, the producers behind it bought the story from Peter Benchley before it even got published.
Yes, yeah.
They just said, this is going to be a good story. And then it went on to be a massive bestseller. And then it went on to be the biggest film in the world for a time.
Spielberg's obviously, it's obviously goes without saying now, but he was, obviously a talent, to have such a success and just keep making successes after successes, for decades to come.
Yeah, well, I was a little snippet I picked up, and then, like we've sort of talked about before we came online, was there's been so much talked and discussed and written about it that there's not a lot we can add to this.
No.
But there was just an interesting bit I saw with Spielberg. It just sort of highlighted for me the care and the effort that goes into making these masterpiece type of films. That they were doing some test screenings, and the scene where Brody's chumming the water and the shark makes its first real appearance.
Yeah.
And he goes, they got a massive scream, and that was fantastic. He said, but a little bit earlier on, where Hooper goes up to Ben Gardner's boat, he goes, we just didn't get the response we wanted when the head popped up.
Yeah.
And he went to the producers and said, we need to do something about that. And they said, no, it's fine. The test results are through the roof. Everybody loves it. Leave it. You're going to improve it to failure. And Spielberg was like, no, I can make this better. So Spielberg went and spent his own money, and they basically hired someone else because Richard Dreyfuss had finished with the film. And they went and just shot like 9 different versions of, the head's already there, or the head's going to pop up this far into it, or this many seconds into it, and then chopped and changed, and then picked the one they liked and put that back in, and then that got a good response. It was just that continual, I could do a bit more, I could tweak this a bit more. Just the mastery, even and he was quite young when he made this film, but that mastery of how to pull the audience in and out and make them feel a certain thing, it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah, no. And I think it works on people's primal fears as well. Like, you're in the ocean and it's so mysterious, and there's potentially something lurking there. And I think all humans have that instinctive reaction, in deep water or in the unknown, basically. So I think it plays on those pure human emotions. And of course, you've got these marvelous sort of jump scares from time to time, but it's really great at casting that atmosphere. Like when they, in sort of basically the second act, when they hop on Quint's boat and they're heading out into the deep ocean, into the killer's territory, and it's shot through the frame of shark's jaws that are in Quint's workshop. And it's just beautiful. It just sort of shows they're heading out into his territory now, into his space, and who knows what's going to happen. And I think that really...
Into the belly of the beast.
Yeah, but you've even got like that interplay between Chief Brody and his wife. Like, his wife is terrified that he's going off onto this boat. And so you feel her fear for him, knowing, well, what's going to happen out there.
And I love how they didn't make the cop a hero.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I don't really like being on this island. I'm not a big fan of the water. And when he gets on the boat, he's kind of all silly looking because he's brought bells and whistles and everything with him. And so I like that because I think it put the audience into his shoes.
Yeah.
Because most of us also went, well, I don't know what I'd do if you put me on a boat either. But I thought that was just really lovely the way that was done, because you did sort of go, well, how would I feel? But I think the other big thing is not only just, like you said, that unknown element, but sharks aren't imaginary. So, and there's the bit where Brody's talking to the mayor, and the mayor says, if you yell barracuda, people might shrug, but you say shark. And it's the truth of the matter. You go anywhere and mention shark.
We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Correct, but you go to any beach anywhere in the world, I reckon, and you say shark.
Yeah.
It's
universal.
It is. I'm not sure there is actually another animal on the planet that would probably give that same response.
No.
So I think Peter Benchley hit it on the head when he wrote that book.
Well, he wrote he had other books as well. Did he write The Deep?
Yes.
Right. So I don't know what that's about, but it's obviously involves the ocean. So that's his wheelhouse. But
I think there was a treasure. I think there was treasure at the bottom of the ocean or something, right? And people were trying to get to it. And I think there was some. I think there might have been some shark flybys, kind of swim-bys.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, just that universal fear everyone has for a shark. I don't think you could match it with anything. Maybe secondly might be a spider type of situation, but...
Yeah, sharks are so much more visceral. It's going to rip you.
Yeah, it will eat you.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mark, do you have a favourite scene in Jaws? Do you have a pivotal moment that you really enjoy when you watch it? What would you recommend to people as your favourite moment in this film?
I actually really like it, and I'm sure there's a technical term, and I apologise for not knowing the technical term, but the bit with little Alex. And we've just had it. It's a beautiful summer's day. Nobody's saying it, but everybody's saying it. You know, I ain't going in first. And the mayor comes along and says to one of the guys, he's like, get in the water. Like, no one's swimming. Going. So reluctantly, he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go. And people see that, and so people start getting into the water. But then you have that moment with Alex, and you see the splash, and they have that really cool, it zooms in on Brody, but it sort of zooms out on the background.
That soundtrack as well.
It just has that whole zoom, and just that moment where Brody's like,
all
no,
my
and it's
worst fears come to fruition.
It really is, and the way the audio and everything's done, it's like your stomach drops because you're like, this is the worst situation. We've got a crowded beach. What I thought was going to happen has just happened.
Yeah.
And just that moment where you go and everyone's panicking and it's quite comical. People are like standing knee deep in water, just screaming. And you're like, get out. But anyway, I think that moment encapsulates that. What I think became the fear of a lot of people from watching that movie was, I've been on a beach like that.
Yes.
Where there's people everywhere and you don't really know what's happening. And do you mean there could be a shark there? Like, so I think that moment, and I think they've used it in some of the trailers and things as well, but that sort of zoom in out thing that happens with Brody. Because then obviously that leads on to the next bit where he thinks he's tried to help his son by putting his son off to the side. And that ends up being where the shark goes.
Yeah.
And when everybody sort of runs over there and they see this massive shark and everybody's like, and that's it. You know that the mayor's grand plans to try and save the island, ruined.
Yeah, we're done.
Everything's ruined. And you just go, and it's, in essence, like you said, it's half time there. That's the intermission of the show where you just go, okay, everything's changed now. Yeah. It's kind of like Amity 0, Shark 1. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Adam? Do you have a favourite scene in Jaws that you'd like to share?
Oh, it's it's not particularly original, but it's got to be the Quint monologue. Yeah. It's a perfect, like, there's all sorts of things said about that monologue. It's like the perfect synergy of like performance and scripting, and when it comes up in the movie, how it sets up this whole world and makes you terrified of sharks without even like showing a shark, builds dread for what they're up against. And this whole picture of what the history of this guy that he's seen before without ever showing anything. It's all just in words. Yeah, it's a great scene, great monologue.
Yeah.
Performers and actors, ever since this movie came out, have been like wetting their pants over that monologue. You know? So,
it's interesting too, that because, like you said, some other filmmakers might be inclined to throw flashbacks. And not trust that the actor could give you but you'd want to go, here's some dramatic flashes of lightning and people bobbing in water and stuff. One of the bits I actually really love about it is just at the start they've been being silly and they'll sing songs and just
show me the way to go home. I didn't want to go to bed.
And just that bit, and you know, and Hooper's a little bit drunk and he's having a little bit of fun, and then when Quint says Indianapolis, you just see like Richard Dreyfuss does it so beautifully. He's just like, what?
Yeah.
What? You know, like you can see he's just like, oh, okay. It's gone from fun times to, are you serious?
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's ultimately, I think, this film possibly just wouldn't have worked with other actors.
Well, I think so. I think it's the quality of the actors. You're right. They really carry it.
Because, I reckon for those three actors, almost, if you had to say what's one film that these actors were in, sort of thing, it's quite possibly the film most people would say.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's, I mean, look, from what I understand, I don't think necessarily, I mean, I'm having a blank. Robert, who was Quint?
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw. So he passed away only a few years later.
Yeah, he did.
Had only maybe 2-3 years later.
Yeah.
But my understanding is, I think, like for the sequel, I don't believe Roy Schneider really wanted to come back for it. But I think they realised that Jaws 2 had to have someone else like someone had to come back.
Yeah.
And I think Richard Dreyfuss had been pretty clear that I think he was happy that he'd done Jaws, but he was done with Jaws sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they my understanding, I read an article, it might have been in Fangoria, where they were just saying that they kind of had to put quite a lot of investment, I think, to make sure they could get Roy into it.
Yeah, continuity. Yeah. I actually saw there's a Instagram channel called, I think it's Jaws Daily that I follow.
Yeah, the Daily Jaws.
The Daily Jaws. And they had like a photo montage of Roy Scheider, or Martin Brody, in Jaws 2, and he's wearing a grey sweatshirt and a khaki jacket, and they trace it back to Matt Hooper's grey sweatshirt and Quint's khaki jacket from the first one, and now they've both almost metaphorically been passed on to Martin Brody, as he's the last remaining character to take Jaws 2 forward.
Wow.
So that's how deep they go on the Daily Jaws.
Little visual things. Yeah, the Daily Jaws. They post a lot, you know. You can only come up with so
I'm going to guess they post daily.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do
I guess
post
if
daily,
you're coming up with 360-odd facts or tips every year, I guess.
Yeah, mixing it up.
You got to wonder, you go, is that a coincidence? Or is that someone being really
Thoughtful.
really switched on? Like,
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But it's good. It's interesting. So really, I guess, guys, would you personally recommend Jaws to people as a good watch?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
What do you rate it out of 10?
That's like,
if you could put a rating on this
what are
film.
we going to rate it? Shark fins?
Yeah, shark fins.
I don't know. Yeah, what am I going to rate it personally? I don't know. Jaws. It's so hard. You can't even say it's like, you can't even say it's overrated, or you can't overstate it. You can't overstate its influence or anything, really. But I guess personally, just, I'm going to give it...
How much you enjoy it?
I'm going to give it 8 fins. It's a great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, 8 fins. Can't really say much more about it. And I would recommend it. If you haven't seen it, it's just part of, I don't know, do your due diligence if you're interested in movies. It's part of your movie history. Yeah.
And I think that's I think you hit it on the head, because Jaws, I think, is a film... It's a good enough film that it doesn't come under the heading of if you like horror films or if you like...
No, yeah.
It's one of the best movies.
Yeah.
It just is one of the best movies. It can be hard, I find, to rate films from a long time ago because you look at it through different eyes.
Absolutely.
Like, I watch a lot of cheesy stuff from the 70s and 80s, and they get 2 or 3 points of ratings in my mind because they're from the 70s and 80s. Even though they might be rubbish, you're still like, but look at the outfits or whatever. You know, it can be tricky. I mean, but that being said, I think Jaws, while there's elements that are clearly dated, it still is quite a timeless film. It's a film you could make today, not, God forbid anyone tries to remake it, but it's a film you could easily make today because the themes are still all there.
Yeah.
Like, there's the simple, the mayor and his greed, putting that over public safety. Like, you go, that's a universal thing. It's been used countless times since.
Yeah.
You know, we can't cancel the carnival, we can't cancel the parade, we can't whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with Adam on. I would say it's. Look, if I had any knocks on Jaws, it's a little long. I do find it can be a little bit long, because it does sort of feel by the end of that first act you've already kind of felt like you've watched a movie, and then you realise, hang on, now they're going to go out to sea. So it's a little bit long, but I mean that's very mild criticism for a film that's done everything. I'm going to give it... I'd have to give it 9 fins. I reckon. I don't think there's much you could do. It's a fantastic movie, and it's a formative movie. Like I said, it's founded its own... It created movies in its wake. It changed the way summer blockbusters operated. We moved away from having regional rollouts to national rollouts on the back of the success that Jaws showed could happen. A couple of years later, you had Star Wars did the same thing, and before you knew it, that's how films operate. Like,
and merch as well, probably.
Yeah, it's just huge. Yeah. You go, all the fan memorabilia, the fan websites, like you mentioned, Instagram pages. People are devoting stuff still, and you go, everybody knows the tune. You hum those couple of notes, everybody knows those. Like, there's a reason it's everywhere. And you go, I think I'd have to give it a 9, which is probably about the highest I ever give a film. I don't think any film could truly be a 10 in my world, although you're probably going to contradict. But, I think I have to give it a 9. You go, unequivocally, you would say. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I'll watch it with you.
Well, there you have it. Just call out Mark up and you'll watch it with you.
I'll bring my 40th anniversary Blu-ray over.
As opposed to my 30th anniversary DVD. For my part, of course, I must give this film a 10 fin out of 10 fins. Primarily, it's as well as being a quality rating, it's an emotional rating as well. I just love it. It evokes so many memories for me. It inspired so many interests for me. And I just love the film and highly, highly recommend that everyone should see it. So, yeah.
You'd be interested to know on IMDb, currently as of this recording, there's a touch over 715,000 votes, and it's sitting at 8.1 on IMDb. So
that's strong.
Basically, if 750,000 people are telling you it's an 8 out of 10, maybe you want to check it out.
Yeah. So with that, it's the first episode of Thrice Plus, Trip Down Memory Lane.
Yes.
For the ever memorable and influential Jaws.
Yes.
By Steven Spielberg.
Get in now before we close the beach.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's right.
Dun-dun.
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 Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.